Good evening to our viewers. Thank you for joining the NCPP's Crime Prevention webinar series on keeping our communities and families safe. Every Tuesday and Wednesday until July 8th. Please visit our social media platform, NCPP for further details and registration. I am Major Cheryl Richardson, retired, the National Coordinator for the National Crime Prevention Program. The NCPP is a community-centered initiative with a whole of government and whole of society approach to crime prevention. We believe community cohesion and community mobilization is key to crime prevention. The NCPP seeks to engage, educate, and empower citizens to create safer, stronger, and more resilient communities. We know that during this time of COVID-19, persons may have experienced stress, anxiety, and worry that may have negatively affected them. So today, we are here with Dr. Shirley London, a trained social worker, professional counselor, human development consultant, published author, mentor, and international chaplain. She is also an accomplished conference speaker and facilitator of seminars and workshops, both locally and internationally. We also have Mr. Shakir London, and he is a psychotherapist who provides professional counseling, organizational training, as well as personal and professional development. As a therapist and professional speaker, Shakir has had the opportunity to mentor and intervene in the lives of hundreds of at-risk youth throughout Trinidad and Tobago. Today, they will both discuss mental health and well-being. You are encouraged to post your questions and comments during this session, and at the end, time permitting, we would seek to answer most of your questions. Remember, crime prevention is a shared responsibility. We cannot do it alone, but we can do it together. I now turn you over to Dr. London and Mr. London.
Very pleasant good evening to all our listeners. I am Dr. Shirley Alman London, and with me is my co-facilitator for this evening, Mr. Shakib London, who happens to be my son. We represent Pathway Consultancy Services Limited. Our company provides professional counseling and training and development. I want to take this opportunity this evening to say thank you and congratulations to the National Crime Prevention Program for allowing us the opportunity to come and to share with you on pertinent issues concerning the effects of the COVID virus. I want to give my co-facilitator the opportunity to share a little bit before we jump in, please. Mr. London.
Pleasant good afternoon to everyone listening. It's great to be here. As was shared, this is my mom, and we're here to interact today with the youth and the children. And so parents, if you're there and you're listening, if your children or your child is in the bedroom or outside, bring them in, put them to sit down, allow them to engage and to be a part of this. This session is for them. Tomorrow's session will be for families, but today we are focusing particularly on youth and children and their emotional and mental well-being. So bring them in, and we're about to start the slide section of the session today. Producer, if you can cue the slideshow. All right, so as I shared earlier, the topic for this afternoon is emotional well-being for youth and children during COVID-19. And so we're going to get into it. The goal is to promote a greater awareness, and it is important for us to be aware of the impact of COVID-19 on the emotional and mental well-being of youth and children, as well as identifying healthy ways of coping. And so that is something that we would want the children and the young people to be able to do at the end of today's session. Firstly, we want to go into the definition of emotional well-being. And you may see the nice picture, the nice graphic that we have up. We as young people, we go through all these wide range of emotions. Emotional well-being has to do with being able to manage our feelings, both the pleasant and unpleasant ones, so that they do not impact negatively on our life. And mental well-being has to do with being able to cope with the ups and downs of everyday life. And so we're going to get into how these two have bearing on what we're going to talk about today. The impact of COVID-19 on youth and children. So we're going to deal with today's session in 3 phases. The first phase is going to be the mental and the emotional impact. Very briefly, we're going to touch on the social impact and the physical impact, but the majority of what we're going to cover today is COVID's impact on my mental and emotional well-being. And you know, because COVID is such a stressful experience, it can have an impact even on children and young people during this time. And so we're going to get into that in a little bit. I want to allow my co-facilitator to take this section.
Thank you, Mr. London. So I know we have the children and the young people, so I want to speak directly to you. You know, it's a pleasure to have you little ones and even for the adolescents as well. So I want to talk about anxiety. Mr. London spoke about mental and emotional impact. And so I want to begin by talking about anxiety. And the thing is, what is anxiety? You know, anxiety is a feeling of fear. You know, and I know that a lot of our young people and even our children are having new experiences, different kinds of experience, extreme fear, and they're wondering, why am I feeling like this? Yes, the COVID is upon us, but we want to make sure that you understand, little ones, you know, what this anxiety is all about so that you can identify it even within your own self, yeah? So what is anxiety? Anxiety is a feeling of fear or uneasiness about what you are facing now. All right, and we know that we are facing a lot now and what is to come. So not only what is to come, but what we are facing now as well. All right, let's look at some of the causes of anxiety. Now, anxiety is usually caused by stress. And I know many of you children and the young ones, you all would have heard the word stress, you know. I know sometimes even the little one like to use the word stress, but it is caused by stress. All right, and the stress that is brought about by the COVID-19. And we know that the COVID-19 is bringing about so much stress in the lives of not only the adults, but the children and the youth. Go ahead, Ms. So let's look at some of the symptoms of anxiety. And one of the first symptoms I want to talk about is finding it hard to concentrate, little ones, finding it hard to concentrate. I know that many of you, sometimes you may be reading a book, and then you just can't focus on what you're reading. You may be coloring, you may be looking at the television, you may be playing your game, and then you just find it so hard to concentrate and to focus on what you're doing. So you leave that and you go into something else, and then you go into something else again. That is one of the symptoms of anxiety. Another symptom is not sleeping well. A lot of our young people are not sleeping well. The children are not sleeping well. Previously, you would go to bed, let's say about 8 o'clock. You find yourself going to bed now at 11, you just can't drop asleep. So not sleeping well or waking in the night with bad dreams. A lot of our children experience waking up in the night, just jumping up from your sleep because you had a bad dream. And that is as a result of the fear that you are experiencing, all right, concerning this whole anxiety issue. Another symptom is not eating properly. Previously, you would have your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner, and now you find that you don't have any appetite. You usually would like your little sweet something. You don't have any appetite for what you usually love, and that is also one of the symptoms, not eating properly. Or you may even find that you just want junk food alone. You do not want to have your regular breakfast, your regular lunch, or your regular dinner. You just want the junk food, you just want the snacks. All right, and all of that all of that has to do with anxiety. Another symptom is quickly getting angry or irritable and being out of control during outbursts. And I mean, I know in homes we have a lot of children who are just getting very angry, just like that. Previously, things that would not anger them are now angering them. You know, not only with the parents, but also with your siblings. You know, you're just flying off the handle for the slightest thing. Symptom of anxiety. And also bedwetting. You never had a problem with bedwetting. All of a sudden, you notice that your bed is wet when you get up in the morning. And you know, sometimes you may be ashamed to tell your mommy or your daddy, but it's important to let them know. But you know what? That as well is a symptom of anxiety. And another one is constantly worrying or having negative thoughts. You're concerned about, my God, I wonder if my mother would have COVID. I wonder if my daddy would have it. I just heard my daddy cough this morning. And you're constantly worrying, and you're worrying as well because of what you are listening to on the media, you know, and that's one of the things that we want to talk about a little bit further down. You know, be careful what you look at, because those things cause you to worry constantly. When you would be calm and peaceful in your mind, and then you may look at the news, foreign news, local news, and then all of a sudden you start to worry. All right, so constantly worrying or having negative thoughts as well, symptoms. Another symptom is feeling tense and fidgety or using the toilet often, and that happens when persons are experiencing great fear. You know, you are tense, you're just not dealing with anybody, you're just there, the slightest thing you're tripping off, and that's also symptom of anxiety. And always crying, particularly for the little ones. The little ones crying, normally you wouldn't cry so much, all of a sudden you just find yourself crying for the slightest thing, and that goes along with the next point, being clingy. So you're crying and you want to cling, you're holding on to mommy dress, you're there with daddy, wherever mommy goes you're behind mommy, wherever daddy goes you're behind daddy. That's also as a result of anxiety, is also a symptom. And then we also have complaining of tummy aches and feeling unwell. You don't for no apparent reason. You know, all of a sudden your tummy just start aching. You just start feeling unwell. You know, when there's no indication that you would have ate anything or did anything to cause you to feel that way. And all of a sudden you just find that, my God, your tummy just hurting, and no matter what is not going. Symptoms of anxiety. So those are some of the symptoms that I just wanted to draw the children who are with us and the adolescents who are with us. Yeah, Mr. London? Right. We want to go straight on to management of anxiety. So how do you manage anxiety? This anxiety that is as a result of the stress that is brought about because of the COVID-19. The first one I want to talk about, breaking large tasks into small manageable steps. Breaking down large tasks into small manageable steps. So you may be thinking, you know what, I have my exams coming up, and I have to study. I have all these subjects to study, and my God, it's just so much. And you know, you may have a timetable where you may have, let's say, like 4 subjects to study on the timetable. You can say, you know what, let me study 1 today, let me study 1 tomorrow, let me do math today, or let me do social studies today and do another subject tomorrow. So what you want to do, you want to break down the large tasks into small manageable steps. Not only that, don't think about down the road, because a lot of times this affects young people who have career options and career plans, and they're thinking, oh my God, I can't do what I want. I wanted to be a nurse, I wanted to be a doctor, pardon me. I wanted to do all these things, and this thing is just hamburging me now. Don't think about don't think about what you want to do down the road. Right now, focus on what is happening now. Think about the fact that you have to study, and how you're going to set up your study timetable, what you're going to do today, what you're going to do tomorrow. Take it one step at a time. Another management of anxiety is taking control of your thoughts. A lot of times, because of the impact of the social media and the things that we're exposed to, you find that a lot of children are not able to take control of their thoughts, and the thoughts start going all over the place. You start thinking about all kind of things. Oh my God, daddy went to the grocery, I hope daddy doesn't get it. You know, and you just start thinking about stuff that just cause you to feel even more anxious. You know, and so we want you to hear what? When you begin to think about things that make you feel unhappy, what you can do is to just switch your thoughts and begin to think about something that will make you feel happy, or just begin to probably put on a cartoon or a comedy, and you just start to laugh, and then your thought will switch at that time. Also avoid overthinking. There are some people who start to think, okay, if anything happens to my grandma or my mommy or my sister or my body, oh my God, this is what will happen, oh my God, and they start thinking about all kinds of things. No, think about what is present right now. Mommy and daddy are fine. Right now your siblings are fine. Your grandparents are fine. Your neighbors are fine. So don't overthink and start to think about all kinds of things that, you know, that you don't even know whether it's going to happen. Right? It's not going to help you at all, all right? Another management technique is begin writing your feelings in a journal, or you may use a notebook or a textbook or a copybook. Just begin writing your feelings, because when you write your feelings down, it helps to bring healing when you put it down. So you put them down every day, or probably a certain time in the day. You say, you know, this is my journal time, this is my writing time, and you begin to write down exactly what you're feeling and what you're thinking. And not only that, it brings me to the next point. Talk through your feelings with an adult that you trust. So writing it is one thing, but get an adult, could be your mom, your dad, or probably older brother or sister, but talk it through with an adult that you trust. Let them know how you feel. Let them know the unhappy feelings. Let them know the sad feelings. Let them know how you're worrying at times. Let them know that you can't sleep. Let them know what you think about when you lie down in the night. Let them know what you're going through. All right. Another management technique of anxiety is do activities that make you happy. I don't know what makes you happy. I don't know, probably coloring or Scrabble or
while playing,
or not too much while playing, but there are things that or probably just going outside and doing something, probably doing a little gardening or something that will make you happy. It could be baking a cake. It could be you let moms put all the ingredients on the table for you. It could be making cupcakes. It could be making sada roti. You could do a lot of things that the point is what will make you happy, and those are the things that you would want to do. Another management of anxiety is deep breathing exercises, where you rest your hand on your tummy and then you breathe in. You breathe in and you hold it there for a while, and then you breathe out slowly, and then you wait a little bit, you do it again, breathe in deep down, and then you release it slowly, and that helps you to be so relaxed. All right. One other management technique is avoid media that triggers anxiety. And I know I would have alluded to that before. Young people, avoid the media. Sometimes people send all kinds of WhatsApp to you. You don't want to look at those WhatsApp. You don't want to open them because it doesn't make you feel good. All right. So you want to delete them. You don't want to look at them. You want to be careful. Even the news, listen to the news, because you will know what will trigger. You will know the things that are happening out there. And when you listen to it, you hear about the deaths, you hear about the quarantines and all of that, and it triggers. So the thing is, you want to avoid media that triggers anxiety. And the other thing is develop a routine that will reduce your anxiety. And I think I would have alluded that to one of the others before. And I think the last one, if you are experiencing severe anxiety or shortness, for example, shortness of breath, or your heart is pounding, be sure and let an adult know. All right. So if you find that you're experiencing shortness of breath, and then sometimes your heart is just pounding, you need to let mommy or daddy or an adult know. All right, so that's it for anxiety. Mr. London?
Thank you so much,
yes.
Moms. So the next thing we want to focus on is depression. And you might say, what is depression? Why is it important for me to know about depression? COVID-19 and being home all the time, we can experience things that make us feel depressed. And what depression essentially is? It is a mental illness that negatively affects how you feel, the way you think, and how you act. I mean, just as if you were to get sick and you have to go to the doctor and they have to give you some medication, or they have to, let's say, damage your hand and they have to put something on your hand. In the same way, how that could be a physical illness, there are mental illnesses out there, and depression is one of them. And so it's important, even as a young person, even as a child, to know what depression is and what it looks like. What the things that we're covering here, we covered anxiety, we're covering depression. Yes. You may notice some of these symptoms within yourself, or you may notice them in your brother, in your sister, in your cousin, in someone within your family. And so you need to be able to know what the signs are, what are the things to look for. With depression, there are several causes. Physical illness is one of them. And so you may be sick for a while. It could be a stressful life event. For example, COVID-19. Yes, it can be very stressful. Let's say we don't have anything at home to eat. That is a stressful situation. Yes. Or you may be home and daddy may be drinking a lot, or mommy and daddy may be arguing a lot, or you may be in a place where you feel like your brother or your sister is the favorite child in the house, and they are getting all the attention. Yes. I mean, and that speaks to environmental factors, family problems. These are things that can cause people to feel extremely sad. Family history. It could be that your mommy or your daddy or your grandmother or your uncle or your aunt, you would have heard that one of them would have had depression in the past, and so that is also a cause of depression. Alcohol or drug use. I mean, I can pretend that there aren't young people there that are drinking alcohol. They're at home now and they're smoking marijuana, and some of these things can cause depression to come on. It can bring it on faster as well. And so I need to be aware of these things, and that these are things that can cause depression. So we're moving on to some of these symptoms. These are symptoms that we need to be aware of. Changes in sleeping pattern. You may find that you're sleeping all the time, all day. Or it may be that you're not sleeping at all. You find that you're up all hours in the night and you can't sleep. That could be an indicator. Now all of these things, young people, children, if you're seeing them and you realize that this could be you, we're not looking at just one thing here. It has to be a combination of several of these things that you would realize, hey, maybe I have a problem. Changes in appetite. You may find that you're eating everything in the house, or it may be that you're eating not enough, right? Lack of concentration. And Dr. London Moms would have covered that earlier. Loss of energy. You would have find that you had all of this energy before, you're running about your plane, and now you feel like you just can't do anything. You don't even want to leave your bedroom. And we're talking about isolation. You're at home in your bed, you don't want to leave, you feel like you don't have energy to get up, you don't have energy to brush your teeth, you don't feel like bathing. All these are signs that you may be experiencing depression. Suicidal thoughts, that is a significant hallmark of depression, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. Physical aches and pains are also signs that you could be experiencing depression. Why is my hand hurting? Why is my tummy hurting? Why am I getting headaches? And there just doesn't seem to be any reason why. These can be signs that you may be experiencing depression. Lack of interest in activities that you probably would have loved to do in the past. You would have loved to eat ice cream, you love watching your cartoons, you love watching your movies, and all of a sudden you don't feel like you enjoy them anymore. That can also be a sign that you may be experiencing depression. Feelings of hopelessness or guilty thoughts. This is a big sign. I feel like I like giving up. Like there's nothing else for me, like there's nothing for me to do to get out of why I'm feeling like this. This is a hallmark of depression. And so children, young people, if you're having these feelings, it could be that I need to take these thoughts, these feelings seriously. Changes in movement, less activity. You find a lot of young people, like, I have a son at home. He's 3 years old. He's energetic, always jumping on the couch, jumping on the bed, running in and out. Then all of a sudden you notice that you feel like you're slowing down. You don't want to. You're not moving in the way that you're used to. It can be a sign that you may be experiencing some type of depression. In particular for young children, this section is for young children, the crying excessively, the clinginess, defiant behavior, the verbal outbursts. So, and even for parents listening, you may find that your child is being more disrespectful, more rude, slamming doors. It may be more than just they in a bad mood. It can be something more. Could it be as a result of the COVID-19? These are questions that as parents you may need to ask yourself, because you may be observing this in your child, and so it may be that they may need some further help and assistance. So we're moving on from symptoms and we're moving on to management. How can I manage depression? And there's several of them. The first is developing a daily routine. It is important from the moment I get up to the moment I go to sleep that I have a routine set. What am I doing every morning? What am I doing after lunch? What am I doing? This is particularly important because for people with depression, they may find themselves sleeping a lot during the day. And so we want to ensure that you have a healthy sleep time at night so you can get your night's rest. And so it means that during the day I have to be engaged in stuff. I have to be busy with activities that will keep me. And so a routine really helps. Sit down with mommy, sit down with daddy, sit down with your grandmother or your uncle or your aunt. Let's develop a routine for during the day. Physical exercise is important. And young people experience a lot of physical exercise in their play. And so engaging in play activities, it's really important. Even if it's you're going out in the backyard and kicking the ball, bouncing the ball, doing some basketball, playing a little game of cricket with brothers and sisters, with your family, participating in things that will keep you active is very important. Regular sleeping patterns, we spoke about that. Ensuring that you get at least 8 hours sleep in the night is important. For those young people who like to play a lot of games, and I know a lot of them like to play all the Call of Duty and so on, going to bed 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock is not going to help it. And so schedule a time in the day where you would play a game to ensure that you get enough sleep at night. Healthy eating habits. I know that, at least for me, during this COVID time, I've been eating a lot of unhealthy snacks. I just seem to want to snack a lot. And I know for a lot of young people, you know, there's the desire to eat all these sweets and all these snacks. And it could be so bad that you don't even want to eat your lunch.
That's right.
And not eating food, but are eating snacks. Eating healthy is important because the eating healthy ensures that you get your nutrients, the things that will help your body to be strong and to be able to deal and to deal with things like depression. That is very important. Challenging negative thoughts. And so you may find that for somebody who's having thoughts about depression, they may keep saying things like, I am never good at, I could never do this, I don't feel I'm good enough, and they have these negative thoughts all the time. I have to challenge these thoughts. And so I may decide, all right, I'm switching my thoughts from I am not good enough to I am great, I am well, I will accomplish, I will not fall short, I am strong, I am brave. I'm replacing my negative thoughts with positive ones. And that's important because it helps to fight the depressive thoughts when they come. Write your thoughts in a journal, or your thoughts and feelings in a journal. It's important to get these feelings out.
That's right.
Remember, depression speaks to a lot of feelings of sadness, hopelessness, and in some cases pain. I need to get these feelings, get these thoughts out. And so a journal really helps to express the things that I'm going through. Identifying my triggers, very, very important, because the triggers are what may cause you to spiral into a depressive episode. And so it may be abuse in the home.
That's right.
Your triggers may be mommy and daddy arguing. It may be you're getting conflict in the home with somebody in the home. Identifying what are the things that cause you to go into this really sad place and this sad mood. It is important. And so once I identify the triggers, it means that, hey, if this is a trigger, when this happens, I know that I need to do some things different. I need to exercise. I need to put some of the same things that we're talking about here into practice to be able to counteract the triggers and what they bring into my life. Do activities that make you feel happy. And we would have spoken about that with anxiety. Finding things that you enjoy, that you love to do, whether it's eating ice cream, everything in moderation, eating ice cream, watching a show that you like, watching a comedy on Netflix, things that make you feel happy, and doing them with your family. Getting your family involved it can help you to feel better. Assessing your feelings. Where am I at? If I were to rate where I'm feeling on a scale of 1 to 5, let's say 5 is I'm extremely depressed and 1 is I feel great, I feel nice. I should know at any point in time, even right now sitting watching at this webinar, how do I feel? Am I at a 3? Am I at a 4? Am I at a 5? If that is the case, it is important to know where I'm at so that I can do some of these same management techniques to bring myself all the way back down to 1. I want to bring it back down to 1. So where am I at? Every day, every week, ask yourself, am I at a 3? Oh, today, I'm at a 2. I'm doing good today. Yes, I'm doing a lot better. This is something so that you can chart wherever you are, young people, children. Do activities that allow you to express your feelings. And we touched a little bit on that, doing the art, the painting, the writing, the dance, the singing, the poetry, write a song, write a story, talk, these things help you to express, and the important thing is to get these feelings out. Oftentimes you find young people keep these things to themselves. They don't tell mommy, they don't tell daddy. They're going around and they're carrying all of this weight on the inside. It's so important to have activities that you could do that will allow you to express what you're going through. And the last one is to talk through your feelings with an adult you trust. Very, very important. Because depression, as we said, is a mental illness. And if you get to the place where you are depressed and you're having suicidal thoughts, it is important to speak with an adult, because it may mean that you may need further help. You may need intervention from a professional. And so in a case like that, don't feel ashamed. Sometimes we feel like, I don't want to talk and I don't want to share. No, go and talk to them, let them know this is what I'm going through, this is what I'm feeling. And the important thing is with someone that you trust, someone that you can pass it on to. So we're moving on. The next topic we need to touch on is suicide. And one of the things that we know is that depression and suicide, they're like brothers and sisters. They're close. And so usually when someone is feeling depressed, usually they start to have thoughts about suicide. We need to identify what is the term is suicidality. It's a big term, but it's broken down into 3 parts. It has to do with thoughts about suicide, which some people have. it has to do with suicidal attempts. And I know some young people would have attempted suicide in the past. And the third part is the actual carrying out the act. There are three parts. And so, you know, if you are having any one of, if you're having the thoughts, or you would have attempted it in the past, and you know it's something that it's on your mind now, it is important to let someone know so that you can get the help that you need. And we're going to talk more about that in a little bit. The warning signs. The first warning sign that I want to point out is isolation. I pull myself away from everyone. That's a serious warning sign. One of the things that we find with almost every person that would have thoughts about suicide is that they feel alone. I feel like I'm going through this by myself, like nobody understands what I'm going through. And so if that's you, then you know, it's so important. The next slide is going to talk about how can I get the help that I need. You know, self-harm, what we call cutting, and I mean, and that is just one part of it. You know, but essentially what cutting is that I'm going through emotional pain. It's an expression of emotional pain. Right. The deeper the cut, the deeper the emotional pain. You know, and so if that is me, it means that, or if you notice your cousin, your brother, your sister going through that, or they're cutting behind their arm, behind their legs, on the legs, you know, it means that they're going through something. Don't see it and say, well, you know, probably that's just something that they do. No, it means it's a cry for help. That's right. You know, and a lot of people cry out for help at home, and these are the things that we need to know. You know, and we need to know to be aware of, so that for myself, but also for the other young people that I live around and I live with, right? Expressing thoughts about giving up on life. You know, for example, I just feel to give up. I don't feel there's nothing in life for me to live for anymore. I feel like there's no hope. All these are signs, they are warning signs that this person may be having thoughts about suicide.
Mr. London, particularly around this time, because of what is happening, because a lot of young people feel that there's no hope, because they don't know when it will end. So particularly around this time, it's important to pay attention to that. Yes.
So true, so true, Mom. You know, I'm talking or writing about death, dying or suicide. Oftentimes young people put it up on social media. You know, I know of cases where someone would have put up pictures of standing by the edge of a cliff. These are things that we take very seriously, and this is for parents that are listening as well. You know, a lot of times they post stuff on social media when they feel like giving up. You know, they have conversations. I just, you know, I am talking about, I wonder what happens when someone dies. These are conversations that they start. And so these are things that we take very seriously. Or they may say, you know, I just feel like killing myself. I feel like hurting myself. You know, we take them seriously, you know, so that young person, that you can get the help that you need. Changes in eating and sleeping habits, and we would have spoke about all of these when we spoke about depression and anxiety. The same applies. You sleep too much, or you sleep too little. You eat too much, or you eat too little, right? A loss of desire in one's pleasurable activities. Yeah, the things that you used to love to do, you just like you feel like you don't love to do them anymore. You know, you're just in your room, and essentially you're depressed, and you're having thoughts about suicide. You know, one of the significant things as well is alcohol or drug use that are tied to suicidal thoughts. You know, and you find that once that I might have had suicidal thoughts in my past when I was 11 or 12 years old, and then I got over it, and now I'm 14 years old, and then the thoughts reoccur, and that happens. And so, you know, if I've had the thoughts in the past, during this COVID-19 time when things are more difficult, things are more straining on the home, I'm inside with mommy and daddy all the time, brother and sister all the time. It's stressful. These thoughts can come up again, and so we need to be mindful of it.
That's right. And one thing, Mr. London, but a lot of times you use alcohol and drugs to numb the pain. But the thing is, that's temporary. It's not healthy to use it, and it's also temporary, because when it wears off, the pain comes back, and the pain never leaves, and then you have to deal with it again. Yeah.
So true. Yeah. The next one on the list is saying goodbye to loved ones. You know, oftentimes they do it by young people. You may write a letter, you may do a voice note or a video of yourself. You know, and that happens. You know, and so you may find that your loved ones may come and say, all of a sudden your brother come to tell you, you know, I just want to let you know that I love you. Brother never tell you that in his life, but he come and he pull you aside, and you know, he tells you that, or your cousin, she call you and she tell you, you know, I love you, you're so important to me, you know, or they want to give you something that they have special, the special watch, or the special book bag, or the special whatever it is. That is also a warning sign. It's a red flag. It means you need to take note of it. It may be nothing, you know. but it may just be that
Yes.
this person is crying out for help.
That's
Right? The last one we have on the list here is dramatic mood changes. And you may find that one moment they seem very happy and bubbly, and the next moment they seem very sad and very low. They seem very depressed. You may find that the changes may also occur in how they carry about themselves. They may be they may dress very decent and nice one moment, and then they're not paid in. They have on old clothes. They're washing their hair. They're not using deodorant. You find that something is wrong. What is going on with my brother or sister? Or it may be me. I may be home and I just don't feel like doing anything. My mood is just low. It means that you need to get some help. But the good thing is that is why we are here.
That's right.
That is why we're having this segment, so that if this is you, if your well-being is being threatened, you can get some help.
That's good. That's right.
Yeah. So the next time we're going on is how do I manage suicidality? One of the first things that we need to identify is identifying reasons for living. And this may be you. What are the reasons for living? It could be something big, or it could be something very small. It could be that you want to live so you could see the next episode of a movie coming out, and that you're watching on Netflix. It could be something very small, but at the end of the day, it's a reason to live. It could be a baby brother or your baby sister or your mommy or your daddy, something that could cause you to hold on to life.
It could be a birthday party coming.
It could be a birthday,
next birthday, and you want to be alive at least. Yeah.
So I need to find things to hold on to life for, while I am letting the adult know. Very important. Identifying things to be grateful for. It may help or it may not help, but at least you may be able to say, what I mean, my life may be difficult because of COVID-19. I realize my parents may be out of a job or whatever. There's problems in the home, issues, bacchanal. But at least I can be grateful for life, or I have food to eat. I can be grateful for that I am able to spend more time with my brothers or my sister, or with my daddy, or with my mommy. So there are things to be grateful for, and these are things that we can hold on to life. We can use to hold on to life. It is very, very important to speak to an adult that you trust, so that you can get the help that you need. I don't want you to feel like you're having thoughts about suicide and you must just deal with that at home by yourself. No. Suicidal thoughts, we take it very seriously, and so we don't take it for granted. You find an adult that you trust, let him know what's going on, where you are at, and this is for the parents. Don't take it for granted. If your child says this, your son, your daughter, your nephew, your niece, they say this, they say this, they need to get some help. Your parent would need to ensure that you receive professional help. You may need to see a psychiatrist, you may need to see a professional counselor, and nothing is wrong with it. At the end of the day, the professional is there to give you the help that you need, to take you through this phase of your life. The reality is not so much that you want your life to end. No, it may be that you just want the pain to end, the hurt to end, what you're going through to end. And so when we're able to deal with the hurt and you're able to deal with the pain, you may realize, wow, life is good, life is great. Nothing lasts for forever. Young people, children, nothing lasts for forever. It may be a season in your life. COVID-19 is just a season. It will not last for forever. And so I'm saying that to say that, whether it's 3 years down the road, 5 years down the road, you can be in a better place. And so the important thing is right now, getting the help you need, moving through these steps so that you can be in a better place down the road.
That's right. I just want to say one thing. And the thing is, if you don't mention what is happening to you, how you're feeling, what you're thinking, then who can help you? Or when you're able to talk about it, talk to a trusted adult, talk to your mother, talk to your father, then they know what you're going through. All right, they're able to identify a problem, or they refer you or to take you to the psychiatrist or another professional to get the help that you need. And that is why it's so important as well for parents. We'll be dealing with parents tomorrow, please God, for parents to be able to identify the changes in your child's behavior, because the child may not say anything. And don't trivialize it. But he just don't want to bathe. But she just, no, if the child is in the room all day. If you notice that you don't want to come out of the room as a young person, as a young man, a young woman, an adolescent, then you need to say something. When mommy or daddy come in and ask your son what is happening, say something. I just not feeling well. I just not have the appetite. I don't feel to eat, and in that kind of thing. But say something so that they will be able to identify that clearly this is not normal, and you will get the help that you need.
Right? And probably you've been seeing the signs in somebody in your home with regards to the kids and the youths, and you might be saying, I realize so really they've been experiencing some of these things, you know, it means that, hey, we need to take it seriously. One of the things I noticed, you know, working with young people and with children, is that young people and children, they share with other young people.
That's true.
Young people share with young people. They may not share with an adult, you know. And so you may be in the home, and your brother or your sister, your cousin, or your friend, they may call you on the phone and may say, this is what I'm going through. It means you are the person that they would have told. Let an adult know, a trusted adult, an adult know, so that they can get that help.
That's a very good point, Mr. London, because it may not be someone in your immediate family, but it can be a friend in another home from another home who tells you that they're planning to do this, and then you can now say something so that somebody will be able to assist, you know, with that situation. Right.
So we've covered essentially the mental and emotional impact of everything that may relate to COVID-19 and how it may make us feel. But there are other things that we want to just touch on very briefly. You know, the social impact of COVID-19, Doc.
And one of the social impact of COVID-19 is lack of social interaction with peers. Previously, you can go to the playing field, you can play, you can see your friends at school, you can go by your neighbors, you can hang out, but now you can't just go about as you please. All right, so that is really, really a challenge for a lot of young people, especially the adolescents, because they don't want to stay home. They don't want to be cooped up in the house all the time. So one of the social impacts is that I cannot play with my peers. And even if you may be on social media and you're WhatsApping or whatever, you know, you still want to be able to see them too. You know what I mean? And but it just cannot happen, at least not right now. But you know what? Make use of the WhatsApp video and make use of the Instagram and make use of all the gadgets, all right, that you're familiar with. Make use of it, because this too shall pass. This too shall pass. This is not going to be for all the time. Another social impact is social distancing. Well, we know we have to stay apart 6 feet apart. So so I know it's kind of a struggle when you have to go to the supermarket with your parents, as the case may be. You have to observe that, and it is a challenge. It is different, and usually change brings about a little challenge. But you know what? It will not be for all the time, and it is important not only for your safety, but for the safety of the other people around you as well. And even as a young child, even as an adolescent, it's important for you to be able to take responsibility and make a positive contribution to your community and to what is happening here. Don't be a part of the problem, but even though you are young, you can be a part of the solution. You can be a part of fixing it. All right. Another social impact is greater interaction with family members, and I think this is really a nice thing. We're talking about it coming down in the vehicle, because what I'm saying is that because you are at home now, it means that you are in close contact with mommy and daddy. You are around mommy and daddy, you're around your siblings, you're all in the same home. But the challenge with that is that sometimes mommy and daddy are at home, but mommy and daddy may be working from home. So they're at home and they're in the home, but they're not able to interact with you the way you would want to. And I guess that's one of the disadvantages of it. But the point is, now you have time to bond. Now you have time to share. Now you have the time to talk to mommy about the things with daddy, about the things that you had on your heart all the time. Now you have time to even watch a movie as a family. All right, you have time to play with your siblings. You have time to get to know each other a lot more, and that brings a cohesiveness within the family. That brings closer tie and closer union and more love. Now I know that in some families it may not be positive. In some families, particularly families where, you know, there's a lot of abuse, but domestic violence, you know, and that kind of thing, it may be a trigger, and it may be very difficult for a child to be able to experience that in a home. And we want to touch on that tomorrow when we are talking about the adults, so that the adults would know the level of the impact of abuse upon the child in terms of anxiety, depression, and suicide. But you know what? The nice thing about it is now you can have time with your family. And I know I've been hearing from a lot of people that, my God, now I know things that I didn't know before, and the relationship is closer and that kind of thing. So there's a plus.
Yeah, you know, one of the interesting things about you know, the social and even the physical impact is that these of COVID-19, these things can have a real bearing on your emotional and mental mental well-being. And so we need to be conscious of it. And even with our young people, at the end of the day, everyone, you know, we've been somewhat cooped up in home, in the house for a period of time. And so if our home relations or if we are able to communicate in an effective way with each other in the home, it can cause a lot of problems. It can cause a lot of conflict. And so, you know, this is something that we need to be conscious of as we, you know, managing and dealing with our well-being during COVID-19.
That's right. Like a fighting for turf, this is my couch, I've got some lying down here. Now you're home in the day, so we all have to lie down in the bed. Normally we go to sleep at night, but now we are home in the day and we have to take turns in lying down. And
I'm watching the TV and one
the remote control, and you have all of that happening.
Yes.
But again, communication would help to just being fair, and I'm saying, you have it this morning, I could have it this afternoon. You look at a cartoon now, let me look at a TV. So I think the parents as well could help to structure that with the children are concerned.
It's a good opportunity to begin to practice and ask myself, how should I be treating my siblings? How can we create a nice environment, an environment at home where home could be could be loving, home could be peaceful. I mean, there's an opportunity to try that. Let's try it. It means I may have to work on some of the things that they say. As young people could be very, very rude sometimes and say disrespectful things, and even children, they could want to slam doors and stoops and things. It's an opportunity for me to make some changes in the way I interact with everybody in my home, so that we can have a more peaceful home environment.
That's right. I believe.
The physical impact of COVID-19.
Okay, so under the physical impact of COVID-19, we talked about personal hygiene, and that speaks to washing of the hands. We know you have to wash your hands, while you're at home, make sure you wash your hands, you use your hand sanitizer, but try, as I would have heard the minister said, try as much as possible to soap it properly, take some time out and rinse it properly. Don't just use this hand sanitizer all the time, even though there's a sink and the soap there. Utilize the sink and the soap, but when you're going out, make sure and have your hand sanitizer, make sure and practice the social distancing, and make sure and don't hug, no hug, and some people elbowing, but make sure that you do what you're supposed to do in terms of personal hygiene. Even when you're home as well, when you go out to the supermarket with your mom, because you may go with your mom, you may want to go pick up your favorite thing, because I'm in the supermarket and I see little children in the trolleys and so. But when you go back home, make sure and do what you're supposed to do. You wash up, you change your clothing, and you comply with the rules and the regulations. And you don't fight down your mom, don't fight down mom and dad. Come on, support your mom and dad. Say, okay, mom, I will go do it. All right, don't fuss about it. All right. Another physical impact is decrease in play and sporting activities. Well, we know you can't go out. You can't play the basketball. You can't go on the court to catch your sweat. You can't play the basketball. You can't play no football. You can't do all these things outside. But that's all a part of it. All right, we want to make sure that we all are healthy and you have a part to play. But you know what? You can go in the back of your house. You can do what you call this game, board games. You can do your board games. You can do some push-up and sit-up and all these things. So you can do, you can engage yourself in sporting activities. You can use your they can go in the front or the back of your house. You can play your little cricket as well. So there are things that you can do. Mr. London, you want to jump in there?
Play. At the end of the day, what can I do in my yard, in my space? Finding things to do outdoors is important. Just being outdoors gives you the fresh air. Now that things have changed a bit in Trinidad, I know that we can now go for a little run or a little exercise and stuff. I mean, these are things that we can do with our parents and so on. It will help just to break the monotony of the day and really help you to manage better, your overall well-being.
That's right. That's right. And we have weight gain as well. Because you're inside, and as Mr. London said earlier, a lot of snacks, it's only the junk food you're having. You've got to be careful that, you're going to put on some weight, and then some people, sometimes you already have some weight, and that could sink you into the depression and all of that, because, oh my God, I don't want to gain weight, and I'm gaining more weight, and so you go into depression, you don't feel good about yourself, your clothes may not be fitting you well, and that could compound the problem of depression, because of how you feel about yourself.
I mean, that is a really big thing, especially for young people where image is so important. Yes, right. You're home, you're studying. What happens when I go back out to school? What happens? I'm putting on weight. So it is an impact of COVID-19, and it can impact your mental and emotional wellness. And so it's something that we have to talk about, and something that we pay attention to. So the physical exercise is important. You have the YouTube videos where you can go and do the exercises and watch the planks and all kind of things. So you could stay active and monitor your diet even while you're at home, so that you can maintain the way that you want and stuff. I mean, at the end of the day, we want to take active steps to manage my physical health and my physical well-being.
That's right. We know it's difficult. We know it's hard, but I believe that you can choose not to eat certain things because it's a choice, especially for the adolescents. You make a choice to not eat that, particularly if you have been eating it all week. You can say, you know what, I'm not going to eat that. And that's taking responsibility for your own personal development as well.
And parents could get involved. Parents, you know, take the children to run with you. I mean, just yesterday, I had my son, we went for a run, he was running with me, and I mean, he was so excited. But, you know, they can be involved in the exercise routine. They can be involved in the changing of our diet for our health, you know, and making things that they would like and that we would like. But, you know, it can start from the head. So for the parents listening, you know, I can set the example, I can be the model, and they can follow suit as well. Because, you know, parents love to snack too, you know.
Yeah, that's right.
So I may have to cut out my snacks so that my children could cut out their snacks too, you know. And
you know what I was thinking about adolescents as well. Sometimes you may say, my dad wouldn't want to go and play no football, my daddy wouldn't want to do this. But you may be surprised that if you go to your father and say, you know, Pops, come and do this with me, Pops, let me do this. He may say, well, he may just do it with you. You know what I'm saying? Because it is so important to have our young men bonding with their fathers. Very, very important. And I think that this is an excellent opportunity for that to happen. Come on, parents, you can do better than that. Engage them, engage the young ones, not only the children, but the youth as well. Another physical impact of COVID-19 is weight loss. Some people are not eating. Why? Because of anxiety, because of the stress of depression, all right? Anxiety, depression, and even the whole suicidal ideations where you're having the thoughts, you're not feeling to eat, and all of that, you begin to lose weight. And the thing about these things is that they impact your emotional and the mental, because when you begin to lose weight now, you don't feel good about yourself. Oh my God, I'm losing so much weight. Everybody asking you, why are you losing so much weight? And then you just don't feel good about yourself. All right, so it's very critical to be able to observe the social and the physical impact of the COVID-19, because that impact upon your mental and your emotional.
Yeah.
All right, young people?
Yeah. Now, tomorrow we're going to be dealing with the adults and the families in particular, you know, but you may be saying, you know, so we covered a lot of the mental and emotional well-being and the things that can affect it. I mean, there are numbers that you can call, people that you can reach out to, because you may be wondering, who can I reach out to get the help that I need? You know, and this is very important, this slide. So, you know, if you have pen and paper at home, you may, I mean, it could be the teens, even the adults, or even, you know, the children. Get pen and paper, write down these numbers. You may need to reach out to them, you know, so that you can get some help. You know, I'm gonna come back to this slide in a little bit, just in terms of so these are the references in terms of information where we would have gotten them. I would like to thank everyone for listening. Thank you, NBC, but I want to go back to the slide with the numbers so that you all can take these numbers down, and you have access to them. I mean, you have the Ministry of Education and their numbers that you can contact. You know, the school social workers are available where you can get help in different districts within Trinidad and Tobago. And then you have, you know, the suicide prevention hotline. You have the Children's Authority in cases of child abuse. You know, you have Childline for children. You know, you just want someone to talk to. You know, you need a professional counselor, someone that you need to ventilate to, and you feel like there's no one in the home that you trust, because that can happen too, you know. But there are trained counselors, they are available there that you can reach out to them. Families in Action, that you know that can really help and provide a listening ear for you, for everyone in your family, for the children, as well as your young people.
That's right. So there's hope and support.
There is hope.
So if you feel that you're alone and there's no one to help you, that's why we are here, and that's why the ministry is doing this, you know, and you have the hotlines, so you can reach out. So don't stay at home and know that you're not able to cope and you're not handling it well. Parents, don't stay at home and know that your child is displaying signs of whether it's anxiety or depression or suicidal ideations, and don't do anything about it. Reach out to someone, speak to someone, because there is help. There are the organizations out there that are poised and ready to help you, if only you would reach out. All right? So I just
as we close, I just want to challenge, you know, all the young people, all the children that, you know, you're listening, do something today for self-care. What can I do for self, so that I could feel good, I could feel nice? Do something for self-care. You should be doing something for self-care every single week, every single day. It could be something small, but just for your mental sanity, for your peace, for your emotional well-being, you know, it is so important. You know, life could be stressful. COVID-19 could be stressful. You know, we hope that we continue to keep things under control in Trinidad and Tobago. But in spite of, I should be taking care of myself. Do something for you. You know, we want to challenge you today. You know, we want to thank, you know, the National Crime Prevention Program for this initiative, for bringing my mom, Dr. London, and myself on, you know, to talk to the young people, to talk to the children today. You know, we enjoy being a part of this process, you know, and we want to open the floor for questions, for any
Yes.
questions that you may have.
Yes.
Let me check my phone. I think the questions would come in via text message, so
That's
that you know we can
Mhm.
throw it out. So the first question is, can meditation or listening to calm music help with
Yes.
decreasing anxiety in children and parents?
Yes, it
Okay.
can help.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, it can help. Particularly those that are very soothing, and those that are not filled with, the foul language and the violence, But you will know the music that will take you from, as Mr. London said, from the 5 to the 1, straight down to the 1. There are some songs that you would listen to and you're still kind of a little bit restless. And then there are songs again that when you listen to them, it just brings you down, it just calms your mind. All right, so yes, the answer is yes.
Yeah, I mean, and it's different for everyone. What
Yeah.
works for me may not work for you.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
suggest making a list of about 4 things that helps, that you can do to help bring all the
Yes.
anxiety, all the stress, all the depression, everything down.
That's right.
And really figuring out what works for you.
And let's talk about anxiety meditation as well.
Yeah, meditation.
Yes.
It allows you to deal with the mind.
Yeah.
What we call mindfulness. I'm able to put myself in a mental state, identify what is causing me to become anxious.
Yes.
What are my triggers? What can I do to help? And putting myself in that calm space of mind. The deep breathing helps, and it really helps to manage it.
To free your mind.
Yeah. The next question I have here is, does the pattern of anxiety exhibited by parents transfer to children? Yeah. Very important. Essentially, very good question. How parents treat with the stresses of life,
right.
children learn. And I may never have to say to my child, learn to treat with stress like this. But just the fact that my child is in the home, observing every single day your interactions with stress, they learn, and they learn to become anxious. If you are anxious when you deal with situations.
Yeah, that's right. And whatever the parent does to cope, the child learns that. So, for example, mommy, let's say daddy drinks when he has an issue, when there's an issue in the family. And now, because of the COVID virus, you find a lot more they are drinking, then the child will begin to drink. Why? Because the child has learned coping strategies from the mother or from the father, as the case may be.
Yeah.
It's learned behavior too.
Yeah. And they learn every day.
Yeah.
So by the time they get to 13, 14, 15, can you imagine how much they would have learned if you find that the child is just like the parent.
Yeah, that's right.
Same attitudes, the same behaviors, the same coping mechanisms.
And they learn from very small, very small. Once they could see, once a little child eye could open and see, they're learning, and the eye following you, and they see from even that time, they begin to learn behaviors.
Yeah. The next question is, how can parents be aware when their anxiety is having an impact on their children? Wow. One of the things, how can I be aware? I, as a parent, I have to be very observant of my child. We would have covered a lot of the signs and symptoms of anxiety, and so now you're in a position to measure your child against the symptoms that we would have outlined. Does my child or is my child exhibiting any of these behaviors? And so if the question is saying here that the parent is dealing with anxiety, they're saying that the parent's anxiety, let me say this, it will have an impact on your child. It will have an impact on your child.
It will. And the thing is, when you feel anxious, observe the behaviors of your child. Just observe that whenever you feel anxious and you begin to display some of the symptoms, look and see if the child doesn't just go into the room. Look and see if the child doesn't just start to cry. Look and see, but observe what the child does. And then you would know the kind of impact that your anxiety has upon that child.
Yes. Yeah. So let me suggest, if as a parent you have anxiety or you're dealing with anxiety, your ability to cope will weigh in on your child's ability to learn to cope.
Yes.
Because a lot of it is learned behavior, right?
Yes.
The last question, the fourth question, is, what are some easy ways children can talk to their parents about problems that they may be experiencing? I want to say, parents, if you're listening, you are the one that, I believe you are the one that need to open up the lines of communication with your child. Begin to have conversations. So the conversations could be around whatever the child is interested in. If it's social media, can you show me how to set up a Facebook account? Can you show me how to, how you feel about so? Wait, let me begin to open the lines of communication, because a child may not take that first step.
That's right.
And essentially as parents, yes, we may want that, but but my child may not do that. That may not be my child. Children tend to be very secretive, and they may keep things on the inside. And so parents, you may be the one that may have to go to ask the hard questions, to ask the difficult questions, and a lot of that can come by creating the opportunities where we can have conversations. And so with your children, you can have little tea parties at home, or we can sit down and you can talk. You can have a movie night. You can have games night, and you're doing it consciously so that we can have conversation, so that I can get my child to talk. And once they realize that you're not overreacting or becoming or reacting based solely on emotions, then they would learn to trust you with the information that they would be sharing. And that trust is important, because it will mean that they would share more and more. And that's good, because when they get older, you want them to come to you when they're having problems. 17, 18, 19 years, you want them to come to you. And so that starts from very young, opening the lines of communication, where your child can feel comfortable to come and share. Having family meetings where there's no repercussion, where the child can come and say, Mommy and Daddy, I didn't like when this so happened. Mommy, Daddy, when so thing, it really hurt me. And there's no repercussion, there's no licks, there's no abuse, so the child feels comfortable, and you open that up, and that is something that you can have in the home.
Yeah, that's right. And even the parent can say, son, I did this. Or let's say the child says, Mommy or Daddy, you did this and I didn't like it. Nothing is wrong with the parent saying, son, I'm sorry. Son, I'm sorry. Your daughter, I'm sorry. And then the daughter, no. Because what you're actually doing, you're teaching. Another thing is that if you go into your child's room, let's say, when you go into that room, it's the child's space. Yes, I know it's your home, but you don't want to go into the child's space and just take control and carry on. No, you want to go into the child's space, and you want to be very calm and not be critical and that kind of thing, and sit down there on the bed, and they may be playing a little game, you're there and you're looking at the game as well, and what you're doing there is building trust. Right? And after time, you're going into that room for a number of times, and the child feels comfortable enough to have you. You're not going into the room sometimes to start to talk about anything, any problem, but you want to give it time. What are you doing? You are building relationship. You're building relationship, because rules minus relationship equals rebellion. So if you want to build a relationship, if you go into your child's space, as we would say, you want to listen, you want to support, you want to congratulate, you want to praise, you want to ask questions, you want to learn. You don't want to say, move your clothes from there. You don't want to say, but I tell you to clean up you. You don't want to do that, because you are building relationship. You will do it, but not at that time, because your aim is to build relationship.
We have one more question here. What can be done for children who spend most of their days using gadgets and do not interact with the family members? All right, so firstly,
That's a good question.
Yes, and especially because we're home with COVID-19, it is so important, for the parents that are listening, it is so important to establish a daily routine for your child. A child should not spend more than 2 hours on any gadget for recreational use during the day. So it means then that for this to change, we must first have a conversation about it. We sit down and we can have a family meeting, a conversation, and we are going to create a routine. And in this routine, we are allotting specific times for the gadgets. So for my children, they have, in the morning, there's an hour after they get up, have breakfast and that kind of thing. We allow them 1 hour in the morning. You can have that time to be on your gadget, to be on the TV or whatever it is. And then the next time is just before bedtime. They can have the next hour then. But at the end of the day, there's a specific time. It means that you're going to have parents that you're going to have established things during the day to keep them occupied. That is important, because if they're not occupied, then what they're going to do, they're going to want to come on the gadgets. They're going to want to be on the phone, the social media, the everything. And so I have to find things to occupy their time. But the routine is important, and my son, he doesn't even come to ask for the phone, and so that has essentially cut out of his vocabulary, because he knows that there's a routine, there's a specific time for it in the morning, a specific time for it in the evening. We're not taking it away. And most of the time, parents would say, you need to come off the thing, you need to come off the phone, you're always on the computer, you're always in your room on the gadgets, It's now shifting away from that. Let's have a conversation. This is what I would like to see. This is how we can rule it out. What time would you like to have? From so time to so time? Great. So you know what the times are.
That's right. I think that's a challenge as well, when parents go to sleep in the night and the child is on the phone all hours in the morning. And I just Mr. London talks about having conversations, but it's very important to have conversations considering that, because a child must be responsible enough to know, hey, when you're ready to go to sleep, come on, let's put the phone away.
Yeah.
Right? And mommy and daddy, and I'm speaking to the adolescents now, mommy and daddy don't have to be knocking on your door, going into your room and to find you on the gadget. No, be responsible. This is what we're asking. Be responsible. If you have your times to be on it, you have your time to sleep, and your body repairs when you're sleeping. So you need your sleep. Remember, we talked about the importance of sleep. All right, so work with your parents, work with them, organize and have your times and work with those times. And you know what? That's discipline as well.
Yes,
discipline
yes.
yourself. All right, I think it's a good time to start conversations in homes. All right, and I would want to say as well that parents, be careful how you do it, particularly when you're talking with the adolescents, because you know the rebellion and all of that.
Yeah.
And so you would want to do it in a very safe kind of space.
Yes.
with the adolescents.
And it may be a challenge at first, but as with anything, you can grow accustomed to it, and it can become the new normal.
Yeah.
It can become the new normal in the home. You know, once we get accustomed to it, you can use it as a reward.
As well.
You know, I realize, you know, son, daughter, that you've been really following the schedule and the routine that we've been working on. You know, and so because of that, I want to allow you a little extra time.
Nice. That's why.
Yeah.
It's all about having conversations around the table.
Yes.
You know, and even beginning to eat around the table again, setting the table, having breakfast around the table. These are some of the things we want to, you know, to bring back in the home.
Phone on the table. Yeah.
No phone on the table. And you know, it begins with mommy and daddy. Mommy and daddy speaking and they both on the phone. And children look at that. You know, so again, mommy and daddy, you want to set the right example. Or could be a caregiver, could be an aunt or uncle, or you're living with your grandparents, but whoever it is, you know, you want to set that example in terms of communication and the way it should be done.
Yeah, so we want to thank everyone for listening, for being a part, for taking this time out of your schedule to be with us today. We appreciate it, young people, children. We appreciate you all. The numbers are there. Get the help, parents, get the help, and we look forward to really interacting with the families tomorrow on the topic that of mental and emotional well-being. God bless. Yeah.
So thanks again. I want to say a special thanks to the National Crime Prevention Program. This is an excellent initiative. It's very timely, it's very relevant, it's needed. And I really believe that, you know, what the information that was released this evening would connect with someone. Somebody would, at least, it may not be all, but my prayer is that when you leave, you go and you do what you got to do, make the changes, make the adjustments. All right, so God bless you all, and thanks again. Have a wonderful evening.